Welcome to the Judgment-Free Zone. You've downloaded the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast with Matt and Amy, recorded live from the cornfields of Central Illinois. Welcome to episode 91 for October 28th, 2024.
Well, hello there, children. Welcome back to your weekly podcast. I didn't even say freak show this time, Amy. That is the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast. I am Matt, and along with the always lovely Coach Amy. How are you, my love?
I'm great, but you know what?
What?
You're also a coach. You're a marriage coach.
I'm a marriage coach, but, that's true.
You are. You're a coach.
I know.
You have officially gone through a coaching training
I'm
program.
a certified marriage 2.0 coach, so I guess we got to change it.
So you're Coach Matt, Coach Amy.
But me and Coach, last time I was a coach, I was Juice Box because I coached a soccer team. So
the soccer team, that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
All those years ago.
That was a lifetime.
It was a hoot.
A hoot. You don't hear that very often.
It was a hoot.
A hoot and a hoedown. You hear some click-clacking noise. Our dog is running back and forth.
Our dog is driving us crazy right now.
Across the wood floor with her dog chew that she wants to hide somewhere and just cannot decide where. So she
hit it, trying to cover it up with imaginary dirt on the
bed.
On the bed, which was pretty funny. She's like doing this whole thing, but anyways.
So if you're watching on the YouTubes and you see the camera shake, it's probably her jumping up there trying to hide things. But well, welcome back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this podcast with a friend, neighbor, coworker, an enemy. That doesn't really matter to us. Yeah, just share it out there. And while you're out there sharing and downloading things, don't forget to check out the show notes below where you can find the Beyond Spirits, the 7 tips to start your AF journey.
Yeah, especially in this sober October.
I know.
Going into the holidays, maybe you just want to start preparing yourself. Maybe you are
a refresher. Maybe
you're alcohol free right now, and maybe you just want to get some tips. Maybe just going into the holidays. Also, I need to include the Advent calendar I put together last year.
I forgot about that.
So I will get that out. We'll have that out later this month. We are trying to get back on this weekly schedule.
We're trying.
We are trying. Our last interview, unfortunately, we had our poor daughter. We'll get
there.
Oh,
we'll
get
there.
We're
not. You're long. Yeah, no.
Oh man, I'm messing things up.
You are. You were supposed to transition into, while you're getting that Advent thing that you're going to have out there soon. What is in the link right now
is our marriage meeting guide.
Marriage meeting guide.
I just read it.
Yes, thank you for keeping.
I just want to point out.
I want to point out 20. I was into one of our old podcasts. It's almost 20 years old, and you still didn't do the notes back then. 20 years later, nothing's changed. Just pointing that out for you kids.
So, anyways, with the marriage meeting guide.
Yes, which we did today.
We did that today. You know what? I highly, highly recommend downloading this. I'm telling you to get on the same page with your husband each week.
Or wife.
Or spouse. Or partner. Whatever. I'm just saying it has been so beneficial to the two of us. I have had a couple of different people who have commented. One was a client who I sent it to, and her husband are doing it, and they're loving it. A friend of mine who we need to have her on the podcast, Teresa.
Oh, yeah.
We need to have her on here because she downloaded it, and then one time during a networking thing, she shared about it and how great she enjoyed it and everything. So it's something that it really does have value.
It does.
So I would just encourage, and it's free.
It's free.
It's free. It's not something we're not looking we're looking to just pour into you.
It's kind of like the 7 tips to start your journey. It's like a tip to start, refreshing your marriage a little bit.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Amy, how was the summit?
The summit.
What was it called again?
It's called the Blessed Family Recovery Summit.
Yes. It was this past week, right?
It has been, it was the last 4 days.
It
was 3 days. And then as people are listening to this, we're recording on Sunday. This was like the bonus day. However, you can, if you are interested, we will still keep the link there. You can, going forward, get the all access pass. And it will be here on this, it'd be $97. It's great value still. You can, 16 speakers, you have a community of people that you can jump in and support each other. And then also, there's free and discounted resources that are available, and that's all available for a year if you get the all access pass. So
did not know that.
I would just, if you are interested, please, 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 click on that link and enjoy.
There you go. Get that. Oh, and I see, Amy, we're inviting Crystal back.
We are inviting Crystal back.
Crystal, the organizer. Crystal Clean Organizing.
Yes. Professional.
Yeah.
We, through our working with her.
I will say, hold on. If you work with Crystal, just be prepared for it to be like, I don't know if addiction is the right word, but like it will infiltrate your house, and then now like
you do one area and you're like, oh, this is so great. I want to do another
and this area
area.
is so bad now, and then so I literally sent her a picture today going, I blame you, as half our kitchen is on our dining room or kitchen table.
I decided, what we did this last week with her is it was part of our arrangement with Crystal. And we went over to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Illinois, which
I got that right.
Try to say that fast.
Right.
And I was the online model with her, I guess is what we would call it.
They were like the
yeah,
kind of like when you watch on those news shows where like somebody's like bringing in their product and the news person's like, oh, well, tell me about this. Well, you were sort of like the tell me about this.
What like, oh, here's this problem. So it was a great time. And what Crystal is doing, and she has the biggest heart for people. And so she is organizing their kitchen areas so that they're all nice and neat. Everything that, you can see everything. You can find all the spices, all the
accoutrement,
all the baking things, anything that you would want in a kitchen is all now going to be organized.
So then Amy comes home. Yeah, she comes home and looks at our kitchen. And she's like, oh, this is all wrong. This is all bad.
I came home, not all wrong. I just knew when I walked into the kitchen and opened up the first drawer, I was like, I'm doing this.
But this is why you need a marriage meeting, because you talk about your schedule and all these things. What was not on the schedule is a random Sunday morning trip to Home Goods to find storage things and then clean out all the drawers to do the kitchen. That was not on my list when I woke up this morning. Like,
I am sorry that you missed that.
It's a relaxing day. We're going to do a podcast and these kind of things in our marriage meeting. Oh, and an impromptu kitchen organization.
Okay. First off, let's just say that 3 of the drawers I did all by myself.
I thought you say 3 of the drawers are all yours.
No, 3 of the drawers I did all by myself, cleaned them, basically got them all ready.
But you didn't put like organizational tools. You just kind of cleaned them out, put stuff back.
Sweetie, can I just say that all we did was put 3 little things in there. They were all, the drawers were cleaned out. They were sorted out. I pulled things out. And then we had the messy drawers. And we did those.
The messier drawers.
Okay, yeah. Much, much messier drawers.
Yes.
And although I would have to say that I'm not the best on like paring way down like Crystal wants us to, it is organized. We did get rid of a lot of like the junk. You're like, this is gross. Why is this still in here? Throw it away.
Right.
So yeah, she's gonna. I don't know when we're gonna have her on, but she has agreed. She is excited to come back on. We are gonna talk more about organizing, and I think that'll just be a fun. And this is that. Maybe we'll try to do it right at the beginning of the year. I'll ask her about that.
There we go. You go sober January and organize your crap.
Well, you know what? Here you go. That works in really well because
right. When you quit drinking, you have a lot of free time.
You have free time because you're sitting there and you're like, okay, well, I was filling time with just sitting there drinking, and then you're not, and you're like, well, what am I gonna do?
Fill time organizing your crap. And
so that's always been one of the things. Organize a drawer. Organize a drawer. Organize pantry. That's coming next. He cut me off on that one.
Yeah, keep her moving along. Amy, I'm so excited about the beer of the week this week. Last week we talked about Spider-Man, Mr. Tom Holland, and his new beer, Bureau, which now I've followed them and they're doing all their launch parties and all that. Yeah. So we're going to have Tom on the podcast.
No. We are. He's a good friend, Spider-Man.
Yeah. I thought about possibly reaching out to see if we can at least get like a spokesperson type person, maybe. And you're never gonna get Tom Holland, obviously, but
it's fun to watch his story and then to his passion around this.
Yeah, like is in the launch stuff, like he's like delivering the beer himself, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we ordered the 12-pack, which is a mix pack of the 4 cans of all 3 styles, I guess.
Yes.
Amy, which one are you trying today?
I am drinking the Noon Wheat, and Noon is the name of this is after, I think it's Zendaya's dog.
Oh, you've looked into it way more than
I've read a lot about this.
There probably is a backstory to some of those titles.
This is a wheat, and it's really good. And I love it says best served cold and with friends.
Mine says born in London, crafted in America, enjoyed worldwide.
Ooh, maybe mine says that somewhere.
So new their trademark still has a TM. It's not even officially a registered trademark yet, so it's that new. How do you like it?
I love it. Actually, I even liked the IPA that you're going to be talking about, right?
Yeah, and you're not an IPA. It's I guess maybe a soft IPA. It's
a little more subtle.
Not as bittery.
Yeah, it's not as super, super strong, but it is a good IPA.
So I am doing the Edge Hill Hazy IPA.
And I just love the packaging. Can I just say?
Yeah, it's pretty cool packaging.
I like the packaging. I like the colors.
This is a juicy New England style, tropical and refreshing, smooth and hop forward. Yeah, yours probably says the same thing. No calorie count. I know you like to do the calorie count here, Amy. I do not see a calorie count. So,
I think online they had something about like what the calories were, but
average. Most NA beers are somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 70.
Mine says cloudy and classic, perfect citrus finish, bright and seasonable. I don't know. I would.
Very good. I like the idea of the 12-pack because then you can get some of each and see which one you like. We liked all 3, so I would probably just do the 12-pack again.
I love the little card.
I joined the club. Yeah, I came with a little card.
That came with this nice card. It was very, it's us being, with paper people, printers, a nice luxe feel to it.
Yeah, Amy's like, it's luxe. I'm like, I'm not sure what that means.
Like this. So, anyways, I just am very excited about supporting supporting all of the NA space. So it's just really exciting that.
Yeah, I mean, again, price wise, it's closer to like an Untitled Art. It's a little more expensive than say a Go Brewing. Much more expensive than like a Bud Zero, but it's 10 times better than a Bud Zero. So, yeah. And again, as we said 1,000 times, I don't drink a 6-pack a night. I know. This. So I mean, it lasts way longer.
It does.
Plus, I have my cheaper beers, and then like it's more of a special beer. So you kind of organize it by dollar.
Your special beers.
My special beer. Oh, Coach Amy, last week we talked about travel.
We did.
Because I've been on a business trip, and some of like the advantages of not drinking because the anxiety goes down and yada yada yada. Learned about a new term this week called sober travel, but it's called dry tripping. Where most everybody's like, oh, I'm going to go on vacation and drink, right? Which that used to be our deal too, right? But dry tripping without alcohol is people seeking enriching experiences. So going on a trip to enjoy the experience and do things and be active versus just going on vacation to sit around and drink the whole time.
Yes.
Which I find challenging when you're trying to book a vacation because like all-inclusive resorts, all the food and drink you can, a cruise, all the drinks. But there is a travel agency called Hooked Travel, and they're they specialize, I'm sure they'll do any travel, but they specialize in sober travel vacations.
Well, and I know a couple of coaches too who are all around in that sober space too. Like Sober in the City and different things like that. So
sober travel.
So, booking those types of enriching experiences. So, I can't be searching right now because I know that'll take way too much time with my head. So what we'll do is I'm going to reach out to a couple of different people because I got to go to a really great little get to know you networking with just alcohol-free people.
Coaches or just people?
Coaches, sober travel people, authors, people who are just, instructors, yoga instructors,
Oh, wow.
just a whole different, Maggie with the sober, summit, the other
Right.
summit that I did last year,
Right.
her and, Terry, who was on the podcast, one of our first podcasts, she's the, sober nutritionist.
Yep.
They put this together and they've done a couple of them and it was just so much fun. And so there's this, something we can talk about and I can reach out to them because it was like, oh, you're all of a sudden you're in this same room and you're like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to reach out to these people. So I'll do that. Make sure you remind me.
I will do my best. But more than 40% of travelers are saying they are likely to book a detox trip in the next year. So
Interesting.
you could look at it as a way to kick off your,
I think so.
sober October or sober January, whatever month you choose.
But I don't know, for me, boy, that would be, as a reset, I guess I think it would be great.
Well,
but
I think doing it as a reset, as a way to kick off, because
there's a lot of distraction when you're on a little something like
Yeah,
that.
if you go on a vacation like that, you get out of your regular routine, so you can, it makes it a little easier sometimes to not drink because you're not waking up, getting ready, going to, it's not your standard. Then I drink it this time, right? You're breaking that up.
And
anyway.
you could do all the healthy things, like
Right.
there's an event, Sober in the City, in
Right.
Scottsdale, Arizona, this next spring. So,
But then you go hiking and do.
You could go hiking. You do yoga. You can
Right.
do a lot of mindfulness, probably meditation. A lot of pouring into yourself, real self-care. Wine is not self-care.
Well, what they say is, because that means we get up earlier, we eliminate the happy hours, and we replace them with activities.
Yeah.
Being alcohol-free heightens your awareness drastically.
I know.
yeah.
Well, the vacations that you and I have gone on now that we've been alcohol-free, so different.
Oh, yeah. We get up way earlier.
And you get to see different things. You're fresh.
Right.
I don't know. I
It's
just
a different
feel like
experience for sure.
I just feel like I'm completely present for everything.
Yeah, it's heightening.
And I'm actually resting on vacation.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm looking for as they say, talking about all the, activity. I'm not looking for way more activities. You just look for. I think the thing I like about a specialized sober travel agent like Hook Travel is, they're gonna have that insight to find things for me that are.
They're going to create the whole itinerary around what you would like
it's
to
like,
do.
I want to go to wherever. Okay, well, what am I going to do that's not drinking? Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people can use.
Well, and I think one of the nice things about when the further along we get on this journey, we go on this journey and more NA options are available, more travel agencies, more,
Right.
Quite honestly, the United States is behind Europe in this.
Oh, by far. By far.
You go to pubs in Ireland and England, there are options for you, like right there. So
Right.
I think that is that's the great thing that we're moving ahead, and it is becoming the norm.
Well, it's
becoming the norm.
You get
It's- yeah.
Spider-Man doing it. I mean, come on now.
You got it.
Then
You
you're,
got it.
You're definitely mainstream then. Coach Amy, we had you alluded to this a tad earlier. We had quite the adventurous week that we didn't plan on having. So even if you do a marriage meeting, you talk about your week and you put your calendar together, life still happens.
Life happens.
And Wednesday we had gotten a bunch of stuff done on Tuesday. Wednesday was going to be kind of a down.
We had Tuesday, remember? It was great. I remember I went to bed and I'm like, I have everything caught up.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have even done like all of my correspondent with my clients. Like I had everything done.
And I'd worked ahead and we were in the same boat. I'm like, oh,
We're like, I feel really good going into Wednesday.
all I personally had was a video project in the afternoon. Cool. Get a call on my phone. Our daughter calls me about 8:00 in the morning. I'm like, well, this isn't good. Like cars broke down, something, because she's not calling at 8:00 on a Wednesday morning. Her apartment flooded.
I know. It was
The
so
toilet
bad.
tank apparently cracked, an old toilet tank,
Yeah.
and flooded the apartment.
So we went to help rescue
Yes.
and help clean and sort and
It could have been way, as Amy said, she's way more organized than our son.
So neat.
So she doesn't keep a lot of things on the floor, and that's mainly where it was the floor. Yeah. So that made it much easier than it could have been.
Yeah, there were things. I mean, we brought home 2 big those IKEA bags home to clean and dry out some stuff for her.
Right.
And so hopefully this week everything will be. Hopefully she'll get her. Hopefully she'll get her rugs back. I don't know, but the good news is everything was replaced. I mean,
pretty
really
easily replaced. Too.
I don't think she really lost anything that could not be replaced.
I don't think so.
And it wasn't. I mean, it's not cheap, but fortunately, it wasn't like it could have been so much worse.
Her computer wasn't on the floor. Her iPad was on the floor.
We had to replace some school stuff, nursing stuff, a stethoscope, things like that that aren't.
You don't want medical things to be in floodwater, just generally speaking.
So, but fortunately, we got her all ready. And how do you feel about how that went?
I think it went well. I think the stress comes from the process of not knowing, right? Like you're thinking,
like what we're going to walk into.
Like, what are you going to walk into? And you have this kid who's like, I don't know how to tell him to even start because you don't even know what you're looking, you're staring down the barrel of you don't know what. So it's like, I don't even, luckily, that apartment complex was good at, like they had people there pretty quick.
Well, when other people's apartments are flooding.
Yeah. So they were getting the water up, starting some fans. So that helped. But and I packed way more stuff than than we need to take with us, but you don't know going up. So I think that whole time just to get there, and then once you're there, you can kind of assess it. It's like, okay, this is not as bad. Mm-hmm. But you just want to I think everybody in that scenario wants to try and get life back to quote unquote normal, right?
And I would say though, I like to reiterate in these types of situations though, because we woke up and we were fresh. We were not hungover. And I think that's one of the things. We were completely present and available to her. It was like, yep. Let's go. Not that we wouldn't have gone anything, but there was no additional internal stress.
Right. Especially like the way my stomach used to work. I'm like,
oh my gosh, that would have been
a whole nother.
Would have even been worse. So I think. And you even said, I didn't say this time, which is interesting. But you even said, didn't even think about it. Didn't even cross my mind. Not an option. Didn't, until later when we were kind of.
And I think it works on both sides, right? Like you don't wake up hungover. I wasn't concerned about when we would leave as much. Well, I mean, I had a project I had to get home for, but I wasn't concerned about when we leave because when am I going to be able to get a drink? I wasn't trying to have a drink in the middle of working on that to help with the stress, which wouldn't help, period.
You know what's so interesting, though? You had a project in the evening. You didn't do projects in the evening.
No, because that was drinking
You
time.
did not. That's one thing that you just never did.
No.
I mean, okay, I shouldn't say never. You had a few, like with the restaurant, like the really late ones.
Yeah.
But you went ahead and drank.
Well, and I think the marriage meeting helps because we knew our schedule ahead of time. Like we
were able to look at it and go, okay, Wednesday. You know what?
There's nothing on there.
We're gonna we can rearrange. Yep. We can make this work.
Yeah. So I think you're exactly right. But you kind of got me thinking like stress management because then we're on the way. Then on top of that, then our son calls because he's sick. And long story short. His name is Lucas, but we call him Luke. And then he started working the same place I work, so the insurance got messed up. Anyway, he couldn't get a prescription filled because it got submitted as Lucas, but
for some reason he's in the system as Luke.
And apparently that's a bridge too far for CVS.
Yeah.
So
they don't understand that Lucas and Luke can be a derivative of each other.
So he couldn't get prescriptions, and they're like, "Well, can you look these things up?" I'm like, "That's all on my work computer. It's at home." So he's calling me, and so that's adding to my stress. And then I had the project that I'm working on text me, "Hey, can we get some underwater shots?" Which my GoPro just had happened to have recently died, and I'm like, "Okay. So much for an easy day." And so I wasn't driven to drink, but it made me think of like. What stress management things you need to have in your toolkit.
Well, and I want to say
when you run into those situations because
Also,
early on, it can be a default response.
Yes, but also you were willing to let me help. I'm like, okay, I can help with some of this. Can you tell me what I need to do?
Well, you asked, do you want me to go? And I said, no, you are going.
No. I'm talking about in the car.
Oh, right.
I was talking in the car when we were dealing with trying to get all of that together.
Right. Or you would say, it's okay. He'll be fine.
I'm like, it's fine.
You can deal with it later.
And I'm texting our son and going, this is what we're doing. We will, your dad will do his best. But I think that's one of those where you were allowing someone to at least speak into you and go, okay, you know what? This is not you don't have to carry this stress like this.
And that's called leaning on your support system, kids.
It is.
Yes, it is, for real. I'm not even making that up. And that's partially like acknowledging your emotions. It's like, I don't know what to do. I need help. Like, I'm
and that's one of those
sharing
things
with your spouse, your partner, whoever, like a line of communication of, this is what I'm feeling. Like, help me. Is really what it comes down to. It's like,
and are you going to accept the help? Because that was the other thing. Because I'm like, I'm giving you things. Do we need to pull over so I can drive so you can do the things that you're trying to do? Right. Or are you going to allow me or tell me what I can do to help you, instead of sitting there, no, and, getting, bringing all of that internally on yourself and doing that, which that is something that I think we both in the past have done.
Right.
So I think that is a tremendous area that we have been growing in. Like, no, because if you play it forward to the next day, because that was the day that you had the other project where we were in.
Both of us.
Yeah, we were both.
Up early and
up early out on the road. And we were doing that. We were on our way back, and I had an appointment, and then we were supposed to meet our personal trainer in the afternoon, and then I had a client call, and when we got home, I'm like, okay, this is not necessary to have it be this crazy. So it was like, you know what? Today I'm not working out. Sorry. Some days it's just not going to happen.
Right.
And I came to you with the same thing. I said, hey, I don't want to do this today.
Well, it's prioritizing that self-care and rest. And sometimes you just have to say, hey, it can work. It could have been anything in your schedule, right? It just happened to be working out on that day. But sometimes it's like, what's the thing that doesn't necessarily need to tromp on top? And we've done it. Something similar before. It's like, okay, too much.
And the thing was, it wasn't saying that we weren't going to work out, because I told you, I said, when I get home, it's an absolutely gorgeous day. I want to put on my weighted vest and let's go for a walk and just enjoy being outside. Right. Take the dog. We didn't
have time to change and go to the gym.
But to sit there
and
to be just in this rush mode. And yeah, some days you're going to have that. I mean, I do have those days, but it was just, I think with the stress from the day before and all of that, it was like, okay, there's a lot coming on. So anyways, I'm really glad.
Well, that's acknowledging your emotions. It's like, okay, I know I am this. And then, when possible, leaning on your spouse, partner, whatever, to help with processing of that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, that's fine. It's like, we don't need to, that go mentality sometimes can be.
And that's also when you can go into and do like the positive intelligence, do the PQ exercises. You can do breath work. You can concentrate on your senses. There are ways that you can get in touch with your nervous system and calm yourself down.
Which is a good point. I do need to get back into my PQ, because that was very helpful.
Yes, you need to do that. You need to start doing that again. And
the first thing you said was breathe, and I know that's a default, but that is usually something that helps.
Even doing box breathing and that in those scenarios so helps. And I think I follow. It's called the Breathing Network or something on YouTube.
Right.
And so that I do. It literally, that's what it's called.
Side note: this is why, if you're married, have two YouTube accounts, because she started using mine, so now I actually watch my own videos on the podcast YouTube account, because all of a sudden my things that had like car things and drone things and electronic things all of a sudden became breathing. And I'm like,
yeah, you need the breathing, don't you?
I guess like you're ruining my algorithm.
I think I'm gonna log in onto your other one so you can get the breathing stuff coming in.
Well, once in a while I leave something logged in. I'm like, crap, she's been on here too.
Yeah, and the breathing, like I do the Wim Hof breathing. I love that. That really does help me with my anxiety, my depression. But they also have the 4-7-8 technique, which is breathe in 4, hold 7, and then exhale out 8. And I did that this morning, and that was, I don't know, it was just different, and it was just something that I needed, and it really, really calms you down. So you're doing breath work for 10 minutes. And I think we all know, and I know people are like, oh, I don't have 10 minutes to do that. Yeah, you do. I'm going to guarantee you that you are scrolling on your phone.
Oh, right.
At least an hour a day.
More than 10 minutes, that's for sure.
It's more than 10 minutes. Most people are. And so if you can, do that, get in touch with your body. I love doing it in the morning. It really just sets the tone for my day.
And I've learned to sleep through it, so that's good.
There you go. And maybe you should wake up and do it. Oh, right. You know what? Tomorrow I'll just be like,
hey, wake up.
I'll just be hitting on you.
Yes, please
like
don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kids, random question of the week. Why is it when we get older we start choking on our own spit?
Oh my gosh.
Which annoys at least our daughter.
I'm just going to say.
And I'm like,
this is the most annoying thing of getting old.
It's just like
all of a sudden you're just sitting there. And what's so funny is I have seen people on reels and different things like that who have said the exact same thing. Why am I just randomly sitting there and I am choking on my own spit?
This is how I'm going to die. Choking on my own spit.
I don't even understand. And this morning it happened. I'm like...
You're just standing there all of a sudden.
This is
and
so
our kids will be like, why are you coughing? I'm like, no good reason.
There's no good reason. I don't understand. I mean, I know that I think you did look it up one time, but still, it doesn't, in my opinion, it still makes no sense.
Something about like weakening of the throat muscle. I'm like, I feel like we're a little young for that.
I'm not doing anything.
I don't know.
You're not doing, I'm standing and putting on my makeup. The next thing you know, choking.
Such is life, kids. Such is life. You know what? And I forgot. I'm not even going to find it that fast. We do have a phone number. The phone number will be down in the show notes if you'd like to call and leave a voicemail.
We don't remember.
I should have put it in the beginning notes, but I.
Because you were going to do the one call.
I was going to do a whole. Well, you know what?
I guess that'll be next week. And this week we were supposed to have on my friend. We're supposed to have an interview on Wednesday when everything kind of fell apart. Yeah. So here's the wonderful thing about this interview. She's actually going to be in town. She lives in another state. She's coming up here to visit her daughter. And this is going to be kind of part of the story. So I'm really excited. So we're going to be having someone either in the studio or in the house or somehow we're going to work this all out.
I guess I'll need to figure that technology out.
I guess you will. Technology, Matt. You can do it.
So there you go, kids. Yeah, that's another thing I forgot, that train wrecked on Wednesday. So, but again, prioritizing, like, we don't have to do that. That can move on.
I know.
Yes. Pick.
And we're here for you. You know, if you're struggling in any, if you just need somebody to talk to, please just reach out.
Amy at joyontheotherside.com.
Yeah,
or our voicemail lines down below. We don't have to play it
online. We're here for
you.
We want you to feel loved and supportive. So, we've been where you are at possibly now, and we're here for you.
Cool. All right, kids. Well, we're here for you if you're here for us, and we will check you out next week. I'm Matt along with Coach Amy, wishing you peace and love from the cornfields, and we are out.